Hello, welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different, as I'm sure you can tell already. We're inside. We're clean. I feel like we're never this clean on the videos. But anyway, and that's because there's no real like definitive one singular task that gets accomplished in this video, so we're setting it up a little bit different. You're going to be stuck with us kind of narrating. It's kind of new. So we apologize in advance. I'm sure it's going to be choppy, but we'll do our best to pull this into like a cohesive, hopefully enjoyable video. I think it's going to start with some time lapse of building some workbenches and some various like updates, odds and ends type stuff as the finale of the project. I mean, we basically wrapped it up in the last video, so this is kind of just like a bow. We're trying to put a bow on it, so to speak. And then after that, after the little update or whatever we have, whatever video footage we can find to throw in this, we'll get to what I imagine you might be curious about, and that is cost. We'll show you our spreadsheets, and we track every dollar we spent on the project. We'll show you what we spent, what it was for, where we got it, and yeah, and we'll also try to give you like a little bit of a feel for how long it took us to complete the whole project. So hopefully this is, again, hopefully we can get this into a cohesive and enjoyable video. And do you have anything to add?
No.
All right, well then let's get into it. Fat stacks, bro. Dime stack. Slight wire speed adjustment. I don't know, I think it looks pretty much identical, this bad boy. I wonder who did which one. So once we finished our welding competition, it was time to hit the dusty trail, head back to the shop, and finish making those workbenches. Let's see what we've got in inventory. Two by fours. Should be on this rack, the one I didn't point the light at. Here's some 2x4s. How much do I need? Try to leave the good ones if I can get away with scraps, which I think this would be enough. Probably not enough for the back though. Definitely enough for the side. The back is like 4 feet. Going up diagonal. This looks like it'd be enough. Oh, yeah, that's enough for the back. Okay. Honestly, one of these might be enough for both sides. Man, there's a spider web. I'm gonna take them both just in case. Okay. That was easy. Where's our haul? You see that? I think that'll do. Alright. I wonder if I can carry all this. Okay. Whoa, look at the moon. Oh, let's get this light off. Neato, gang. Oh, I love being in the middle of nowhere. What a gorgeous night. Well, that one went relatively smoothly. Let's do that another 10 times? 16? 12? I don't know. Math is hard. Well, in case you're still wondering what this is, and Kayla or I haven't already explained it in the video, or narrated it or something, yes, it is an incredibly sturdy, probably way overkill, kind of small workbench. And let me explain. The idea is this will be the end of the workbench, and it'll be over there somewhere near that window. So that there's 4 feet, this thing's 4 feet, 4 feet, and then I'll build another 8 or so feet of just a normal workbench. Not so sturdy. It won't be 4x4s, probably less lateral support. I don't know, probably the same amount of lateral. We'll see. Anyway, definitely not 4x4s, because that's all the 4x4 I have. Anyway, yeah, so this is the end over there, and this is 3x5 angle by like thick. I don't know what that 3/8. No, I don't know. 1/4 inch. It's thick. And well, here you go. Quarter inch. 3x5 by 1/4. Anywho, plenty strong. And you can see how we made the connections for the 4x4s into the steel top. And the reason I did this is because I'm going to take 2x4s, lay them across this way, and put a little plywood or whatever I have out in the shed over top. And this is going to be a concrete workbench. And I think what I'm going to do is embed the bolts for my vise into the concrete so that I just have like a ridiculously stout surface that I can just beat the crap out of. Like, just really, if I've got a hammer on stuff, I've got to fix tractors. You guys know how it is. You know, stuff breaks and you got to fix it. And I'm trying to start play with bigger toys, and bigger toys are more expensive and bigger and heavier, and everything is just more difficult. So I need something I can pound on, and that was my thinking. Just make a 4-foot section of a concrete workbench, and I did wooden legs to try to kind of protect the slab. I thought that might be a nice little like buffer, because I didn't want to make steel legs, and then I'm going to put a little wire mesh in this. So I mean, this is going to be like a 3.5 inch thick steel reinforced concrete slab, and I'm pretty sure that the slab this building is on is only a 4-inch unreinforced concrete slab. So I didn't want to transfer all of that load directly into my floor slab and just crack it when I'm hammering on the workbench. So I made the legs wooden. All right, that's enough chit chat. I hate doing these I hate talking to the camera. But anyway, I thought I might need to tell you what's going on. And it certainly isn't perfect, but it's pretty darn close. And the floor it's sitting on isn't very level either. Chances are, once I actually put it where it's gonna go, especially because it's gonna straddle this joint, I'll probably have to shim one of the legs, but that's fine. We have leftover shims from the lift. That should do just fine. Back out to the shed to go shopping again. Looking for scraps of 2x4, approximately 17 inches long. Like, that looks promising. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, this is so difficult one-handed. Oh. Okay. All right. So now I don't need to measure everything. Just if it's approximately as long as this one, or longer, we're Gucci. Oh yeah, that'll do. Well, I found some premium shed grade, found in the backyard 2x4 scraps. It's gonna be perfect for what we need. Yeah, let's get these cut up and then see what we're working with. Well, unfortunately the battery died, so you did not get a nice little montage of this being made like I intended, but you really didn't miss much. All I did was cut this thing to length, drilled some holes, and then I don't have a countersink bit, but I do have a step bit, so then I just used the step bit to kind of use it as a countersink. I'm just careful not to push it far enough to widen or to drill these holes any bigger than a 1/2 inch. So now these slip down in there and sit very nearly flush, if not flush. It's really close. I was afraid to go any farther because, again, I don't want to start pushing the step bit out the other end and making these holes bigger than a 1/2 inch. But anyway, so that's what we've got. And the vise should fit over that. Let's double check. Oh, it's kind of heavy. You probably can't see anything, sorry. Okay. Anywho, yeah, so there's the vise. It does go on there. I need to drill or tap this hole and put a different bolt in there so this thing would stop doing this. It would make it a lot easier to carry. But yeah. So I think these bolts are happy in this location. So if I'm gonna get this out of here. Oh, it's a lot easier coming off. Oh, my elbow. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, the bolts, hopefully stay there. I think this piece of wood will keep them relatively in place. I mean, I know that there's a little bit of wiggle, but I'll just have to do my best when I'm pouring the concrete to not disturb them. I mean, at least this way I know where they should go. And yeah, I'll just run screws through this board into the top of the workbench over there. And we should be good to go, I think, I hope. And these, we did measure, should be the right length to stick up past the concrete. So the concrete should end, the concrete table is 3 or 3.5, should be about 3 inches thick, the concrete slab. So that will give us some thread showing. And worst case scenario, we run out of thread and the top of the table ends up down here somewhere and we just have to stack a couple washers. I don't think that'll happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's really not a big deal if it does. So yeah, let's go figure out where I want this. I know I want it on this corner so I can work like all the way around it. actually like really good. Okay. Hell yeah. I think that's it. I'm actually pretty stoked about that. Now I wonder if we'll have to modify that wire mesh. Let me get this cleaned up and we'll look. Here's hoping that by dumb luck, this reinforcement cage just fits right back over it. Man, I use about the worst duct tape I have in the arsenal on this, didn't I? So, here? That's not gonna work. Here? Here. Oh! Dude! What are the chances? Look at this. I might go grab a bag of ready mix. This thing's mint. Awesome, I'm pretty stoked on that.
Now that the workbench structure is assembled, it's time to mix the concrete for the top. While Caleb grabs the quad, the tools, and the bags of concrete, I'll unreel the 150 foot of hose we have and hope it makes it all the way up to the shop. It reached! We have all of our supplies. Now let's start mixing some concrete.
Another day, another workbench. You may have already noticed us using yet another workbench in the video while we built the concrete one. So let's jump into some time lapse of the second workbench for the shop. figure it's time for a little bit of an update. You probably just saw like over 2 hours worth of work. Not that it needed to be that long, but I'm stupid and it takes me a while to figure things out. But I think I got something figured out here. The main thing that was making it difficult is I did not want to have 2x4s running across the bottom and the front because I want to be able to easily like put stuff under there. So that made it a little more challenging. But anyway, yeah, I think she's pretty well sorted. It ended up being incredibly sturdy again. Like I'm pushing on it and like I can lift myself on it. But yeah, oh, my shoulder popped, that hurt. I'm getting old. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of scabbed stuff together over here, just whatever worked. And I had to shim it, which was 100% expected because the floor is not even remotely level. I wanted this little chamfer, I guess, just because the spool is going to be used as a table, but probably over there somewhere. Probably going to have a beer fridge here. So going to take up a comparable amount of room. I just wanted to, if this came out to a corner, you know, and I had the fridge here, it would be kind of inconvenient to get to the air compressor. And I want the fridge and air compressor to be here because that's how I wired the circuits with that in mind. So those things are going to be there. So I wanted to accommodate that as best I could. I think that came out pretty good. I'm no master craftsman by any means, just kind of slapping stuff together. But yeah, I think it came out pretty good. I'll slap a level. I don't have a really long level with me, but you can see, not terrible. Actually pretty darn good. Let's do one up here. Also actually pretty darn good. Let's see if we can cross the corner. Not terrible. So, I mean, she's in the ballpark. I'm happy with it. As always, it's good enough for who it's for. I went down to the shed, shopping in the shed, as you guys know, for all the scrap materials I have. Found the plywood that I'm going to use. Let me grab this. This is the same plywood, just a different scrap. It's just smaller, easier to grab with one hand. I just want to show you the idea. You notice that I built the top of the bench a little bit lower than that, and that's because the plywood goes on top. And that is pretty darn dead nuts, if you ask me. I mean, that is... Can I focus back here? Yeah, so that actually came out really nice. Kind of a miracle, to be honest. I mean, I intended for that to happen, but didn't expect it to actually come out like that. At least not that well. But yeah, anywho, so that's the idea. Gonna slap some plywood on here. That's why I've got these things. This is only 3/8, but I think that, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be plenty solid for a workbench. Again, the concrete is, I did the concrete one for when I need to pound on stuff. This is just a workbench. And because of the corrugation, you can't really get all the way up to the wall. So I'm probably gonna take, I don't have a good scrap 2x4. Okay, can I get this with one hand? Oh, okay. Probably gonna grab or take a 2x4 and again, this will be plywood. Take the plywood back to there and then slap a 2x4 against the wall like that so that you have a back to the workbench and like things won't roll off and get stuck behind the workbench. I mean, I guess you could still drop stuff there, but I think that's better than that. You're almost guaranteed to lose stuff off the back of that. So I don't know, I'll probably do something like that. Yeah. Oh, and then the galvanized is going to go on top of the plywood. So I'll have a nice, ouch, pretty easy to keep clean workspace. And for 8 feet, almost 8 feet, I think it's like 92 inches, and then 4 feet of concrete that I can really wail on. And also, last time Kayla was in town, I had her pick up this little sheet of 10 gauge, just hot rolled mild steel. But that will probably eventually be the top of a weld table that I haven't built yet. So I figured I'd film it even for my own benefit, just because it's kind of fun to see things come to life in here. But yeah, I don't know. I think it looks okay. I think it's gonna function. It's hella sturdy, so I guess that's enough chit chat. happen to be out of town for a couple of days for work, so this stuff has been sitting for a few days now, and I'm thinking that whatever curing or drying or whatever this glue is gonna do should be done by now. Let's pull this junk off the table so that I can actually use it as a workbench. You might notice that I've been working on various workbenches simultaneously. Now that I have completed the Galvanized Workbench, I think we have some quick clips of a mobile weld table that you'll see next. Throughout the video, you may have also noticed that I've made some progress on my tool organization above the bench. So, I'm assuming that this is probably in the same video as the other workbenches. I went down to the shed, scrounged up some more materials, and decided I wanted a grinding, like roller grinding welding cart type deal. So last time Kayla was in town, when she picked up the galvanized, I had her pick up some 10 gauge, just mild steel. And yeah, I want this cart to be like a workspace, like a movable workspace that I can just lay my workpiece on, not have to worry about grounding to your workpiece, because that's super annoying in my opinion, and it's cumbersome. So I just wanted something, a little table that'll have a little overhang. I can just clamp the ground to the table, and then all my workpiece on the table is good to go. And it also gives me something I can run a wire wheel on and not mess up my pretty galvanized, because I don't want to just wire wheel the galvanizing off. So in case you can't tell, I'm trying to set up workstations. When I really need to like pound on something, I've got the concrete workbench. If it's just like a clean rebuild, like a carburetor work, or just a general workbench, I've got the galvanized top. And you can Sharpie on that, it wipes clean, like really nice. And then like welding, grinding, cutting, that kind of stuff, I want to have this workbench, and this will probably end up being the primary workspace. And again, put this one on casters. I got 4 Harbor Freight jobbies, locking swivel casters. So it's pretty nice, in my opinion. I think that's going to be really useful. If you're working on a car or something, you'll have a mobile workspace. Yeah, I'm just making a top here. I'll slap down some of that scrap 3/8 plywood that you've seen 100 times, and then probably glue the steel top onto the plywood just like we did over there with the galvanized and welding table. Yeah? Oh yeah, okay. Here we go. Don't move on me, please. Should have brought the drill.
Let's say you need 2 drills.
Yeah, there's drills in the truck, I think. Oh, there's the downside of the work truck is you end up leaving your tools in there. I'm just gonna have to buy another set of power tools, right, wife?
Whatever you want.
Maybe like one of those Bauer sets, like Harbor Freight, and leave those in the truck. I know Andrew talked about doing that.
Yeah.
Where I put the bit? I left it over here. Actually, I think I have a 20% off all Bauer products coupon right now.
Really?
I think so. Hey-o.
Nice.
Boom! Solid as can be.
I'll do that 3 more times.
Solid as it needs to be. How's that? Well, she's solid.
And it just breaks.
Sweet.
That looks pretty good. Thanks.
She is solid. Ow. That actually is really solid. So per usual, this video ended up way longer than anticipated.
We thought it would be some quick clips of putting a few workbenches together, but it turns out creating 3 workbenches takes some time, and we wanted to show you the process of each one and the different purposes or functions that each one serves. Now we can finally get into the details that I imagine you are most interested in, which is the cost of this renovation project. Here I have a breakdown of the net costs. I categorized the list to better summarize what we spent. Sealing the floors was obviously the most expensive project, and honestly, if we were to do it again in the future, we would choose to go with a polished concrete for a more durable finish. This sealant is super nice to keep the floors clean, and it cleans up very easily if you have an oil spill or anything like that. And it honestly gives a showroom quality look, but it isn't as durable as we had hoped considering it is a workshop and unfortunately tools get dropped. Aside from that, we spent a lot on lumber. Now keep in mind, as we've mentioned throughout the other videos, we purchased most of the lumber from Facebook Marketplace, which saved us quite a bit of money as opposed to buying it all from your typical box store. If you're interested in seeing a more detailed breakdown, I'll attach it at the end of this video. This is the first portion of the detailed cost breakdown. You'll notice the colors match the categories from the previous chart, which showed the total cost per category. This spreadsheet shows the item, a brief description of the item, where we bought it from, the unit of measure, and the quantity purchased. The price reflects the amount we paid for the specified quantity, while the far right column shows the net cost. And that's because in some instances we were able to resell or return some items to recoup some of our money. I'll scroll down to show you the rest of the spreadsheet, but please feel free to pause the video if you would like to examine the details. Here is the last section of the detailed spreadsheet. Please note that the cost may vary depending on building size. For reference, our building is a post-frame structure with a 4.5-inch unreinforced concrete slab. The dimensions are approximately 26 by 30 feet with an 8-foot eave height. Overall, we paid just under $6,500, including sealing the concrete floor. If you omit that cost, though, the total was just under $4,500. It's also important to note that the structure was already on the property, so this is the amount that we paid in order to finish it to our desired outcome. Well, I think that officially wraps up our barn transformation project. If you've made it this far, Caleb and I genuinely cannot thank you enough for tuning in and following along on this lengthy yet rewarding journey to create a space that is comfortable to work in throughout all seasons that Ohio throws at us. Sometimes it feels like we change seasons within a matter of days. If you're from Ohio, you know what I mean. If you're still here, you might as well stick around for a couple more minutes to enjoy some bloopers.
It's fine. Roll it. B-roll. Editor, take that out. Okay, here we go. So you probably saw us.
You're talking even louder now.
It's even louder.
Thanks again, and we hope you'll stick around to watch more of our projects, especially now that we have a usable workspace. Adios.